the Swamp in Gainesville, Florida. The normal crowd, in excess of 90,000, gathered here as the Florida Gators open the SEC season and the defense of their national championship. Albert's ready, as are we. It's the Home Depot SEC on CBS from Gainesville, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. National champions in 2 of the last 3 years. They've won 12 straight. They can set a new school record with a victory this afternoon. Here they come. Everybody, I'm Bert Lundquist along with Gary Danielson and Tracy Wolfson. This intense rivalry had lost a lot of its luster in recent years, its sizzle, its pizzazz. Domination will do that. Along comes Lane Kiffin, drops into Knoxville in December. His first year as the head coach of the Vols, he immediately started lobbing verbal grenades in the direction of Gainesville at the Florida Gators and their head coach, Urban Meyer. Well, guess what? They noticed. They paid attention. And so, having tweaked the long nose of the Gators, having bearded the monster, the time has now arrived for Lane Kiffin and his young team to jump into the swamp, to back up their words with deeds. It's added a certain degree of anticipation to the afternoon. And they will take their time jumping into the swamp. And Gary, I don't know if this is gamesmanship or what.
Well, I don't know. You're going to have to come in here anyway, it looks like. They'll show up, and I think they'll play pretty well.
Well, you know, Lane Kiffin yesterday decided at the last minute to not come over from Ocala for a walkthrough. Maybe this is just part of the same process.
He's here. I think his players are looking forward to this, Vern. I really do.
And let's go down to Tracy, who is with Lane Kiffin.
Thanks, Vern. Coach, a lot of offseason build-up for this game, specifically because of quotes you made about Florida. Do you regret it at all? Would you like to take it back?
No, we're excited to be here. It's our first SEC game. We're in a great place to play. People have really welcomed us.
So what is it going to take to sing Rocky Top all night long?
It's going to take all our players and coaching having a great day, one play at a time, and just keep on fighting.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
See you later.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, what do you think?
In a funny way, I think it helped both teams, Vern. I really do. I mean, Tennessee needed a little juice, and he gave the program and the players, and I think he served notice that we're not afraid of anybody. And I think for Florida, it allowed Urban Meyer to motivate his team in the offseason, which is the hardest time. But you know, Kentucky's head coach, Rich Brooks, he never said a word about Urban Meyer, and he put 63 on him last year, and it ain't going to make any difference in this game at all.
Well, you know, generations from now, when we think of Florida, I think we're going to think of two men, Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow.
Right. Usually when we talk about Florida, we talk about Urban and we talk about Tebow. But, you know, these two guys are intertwined. Without Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer's spread offense might not have survived like obviously the way it has. And more importantly, for Tim Tebow, for him to do what he's done, rewriting maybe history of college football, he needed Urban Meyer's spread offense. It was a match made in heaven.
Tennessee has struggled offensively, but defensively that is not the case, and they have a great player in Eric Berry.
They really do, Vern. I mean, you know, sometimes you're not on a great football team and you get lost in the shovel. But Eric Berry is the returning Defensive Player of the Year for the SEC. He's the only person that's returned a touchdown against Tim Tebow in Tebow's career. And Monty Kiffin, the new coordinator, dad of Lane Kiffin, will be moving number 14 all over the field to try to make big plays. That's the guy that has to make the big plays for this Vol defense.
This game and all SEC college football games brought to you in crystal clear CBS high definition. 89 degrees, humidity 57%. The forecast sunny and warm. We had rain showers here in the last 2 days, but we don't expect any problems this afternoon. Series tied 19 apiece. Florida has never led. They've won the last 4, and only one of those 4 was a close game. Lane Kiffin. His first game as a head coach here. Eric Berry. There has been a Heisman campaign mounted on his behalf by the University of Tennessee. The Volunteers won the toss. They opted to defer and take the option in the second half, and so Florida will get the ball. Brandon James and Riley Cooper are the deep men. And we're underway. Brandon James at the 4. Now he's across midfield. There are 2 flags, 3 flags. So this one probably is going to come back. But Brandon James, who had a kick return for a touchdown this year, excites this crowd.
Apparently Phil Fulmer didn't leave a note to Lane Kiffin not to kick the ball to Brandon James. The last 2 years, punt returns by Brandon James for touchdowns. All of a sudden the kickoff.
Personal foul. Stuff in the face mask. Number 25 on the kicking team.
So it is not against the Gators. It's against Tennessee. And it moves the ball to the 30-yard line.
Oh, big time. And you know what? At this point, any way you can get down Brandon James is the way you have to do it. But field position was not in the game plan for Tennessee.
Penalty was called on Art Evans, a cornerback, number 25. 1st and 10. Gators. 4 wide, 3 to the left. There's that patented step forward. Now Tebow heaves it out of bounds. Brandon James well covered. And Tim Tebow in his senior year now. For his career, 66%, closing in on 7,000 yards. And look at the disparity between touchdown passes and interceptions. He's also 3rd in the SEC all-time rushing touchdowns, tied there with Carnell Williams. 2nd down and 10. Demps is the running back. Oh, Demps spilled.
Man.
Wow. And the lineups are presented by Chick-fil-A. Up front, Johnson, Wilson, the Pouncey twins, and Marcus Gilbert. It's Thompson, James, Demps, Hernandez as the wideouts and running back. Third and 10. Tennessee brings 4. Drilled, caught, but short of the first down at the 23-yard line. McCoy makes the tackle. Excuse me, Gary.
Monty Kiffin's defense is also a good 3rd down defense. 25 3rd down potentials against Tennessee in the first 2 games. Only 4 have been converted.
On 4th and 2, Urban Meyer says we'll try to get the first down. Riley Cooper wide to the right, top of the screen. 2006, when they were behind, he carried for a first down. Here we go again. Remember, they were trailing at Tennessee in 2006. It was 4th and 1. Chris Lee could come up short. And Urban Meyer called on his then freshman, Tim Tebow. Said he looked over at the sidelines and saw a stallion standing there.
Yeah, he did.
And that led to the winning touchdown, 4-1 at 21-20.
See, that's the result of that kickoff return, because Florida punts without the penalty right there.
First down 10. They ride Demps again. He cuts left. Nice job defending the run by the Volunteers. Rico McCoy with his second tackle. Let's check this Tennessee Volunteer defense. Williams, Brown, Dan Williams, and Chris Walker. The linebackers, Thompson, Riveas, and McCoy, who's had 2 tackles. And in the secondary, the All-American Eric Berry with Rogan, Jackson, a freshman, and Art Evans. David Nelson goes in motion wide to the right. It comes a blitz from the corner. And timeout had been called. Looks like that might have come from the bench.
Yeah, it did. And remember, the big difference this year for Florida, besides Percy Harvin, is no Dan Mullen either, offensive coordinator.
Florida in scoring position. 12:22 to go, first quarter. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Sonic, Natty Light, New York Life, and by LG. The game itself in an SEC home site is only part of the experience. There's the buildup of an SEC weekend. Life's good if you're a Gator fan. And especially right now with Florida looking at a second down near the 15-yard line.
Brandon James in the slot right there is playing a lot of the Percy Harvin position.
Tebow looks toward him. Oh, boy. Tebow throws it away. He was checking to see if he was outside the tackle box.
That's got to be intentional grounding.
I can't believe it's not.
Has to be.
Now there's a flag down. Yeah, he was
totally
straight
in
back.
the grass too. That's one thing defensive line coach Ed Orgeron told me when I went to watch Tennessee practice. If we can get him to drop back, I guarantee you we can sack this guy.
Ben Martin, number 99, is the fellow who got. Here's Ed Orgeron, former coach at Ole Miss, former assistant, along with Lane Kiffin at Southern Cal under Pete Carroll, and hired for quite a nice amount of money.
And you know, as good a coach, as good a recruiter as Ed Orgeron is, he's very underrated as a defensive line coach.
Chris Rainey, the running back, is wide to the right side. Here's Tebow on 3rd and 20. Lobs it across the middle. Brandon James has it and gets down to the 19-yard line. Well, Lane Kiffin, first of all, brought in his father, the esteemed Monty Kiffin, and he also added Orgeron, Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, Craig from the Oakland Raiders. Look at the NFL experience among the assistants. And the total package for the assistant coaches at Tennessee, $3.35 million per year.
Yeah, but look at already Monty Kiffin, 2 third-down stops on defense in this game.
This is Caleb Sturgis. Jonathan Phillips missed one last week from 39. And so Sturgis knocks this one home. That's his first field goal. And Florida is on the board. Monty Kiffin's defense, though, held tight. NFL on CBS tomorrow. We'll have a doubleheader for you. The lead early game, New England at the Jets. And Jim Nance, Sims will headline the Pittsburgh-Chicago game, the lead game of the doubleheader. It all begins with James Brown and the Gang of Four tomorrow at 12 Eastern Time on CBS. Florida got the field goal from Jacob Sturgis. Saw the note that they're 36-1 when scoring first. Now Sturgis will kick off. David Oku is the deep man, a freshman, number 27.
Yeah, first-year freshman. This is a lot of confidence. That could go out of bounds. No.
Oh, boy. Little backspin. Oku on the second bounce. Out to the 27-yard line. Jonathan Crompton, the senior, had a fine opening game against Western Kentucky, 5 touchdowns. Really stumbled last week against UCLA.
So far for Jonathan, we've seen it all, right, Vern? We saw him break in when he with Eric Ainge against LSU when he threw that big game. Looked like an all-world player. He struggles at times. He's got all the tools. He cannot take it to the field yet.
On first down, Quentin Hancock is to the right side. I formation. Montario Hardesty tries to get outside to the left and doesn't get much. And time now to check this Tennessee offense, which has struggled this year. Up front, Scott is the best. The 3 guys in the middle, Richard, Sullins, and McClendon, all injured. Jared Shaw is the right tackle. Teague, Hardesty, Brown, Stocker, and Quentin Hancock are the skill position players. Marsalis Teague, bottom of the screen. Here's Crompton's first throw. Has to pull it up. And he's knocked out of bounds. Tackle made by Ryan Stamper, number 41. Defensively for Florida, familiar names in many spots now. Dunlap, Hunter, who is not familiar, he's a freshman, Jay Howard, and Jermaine Cunningham. The linebackers led by the wonderfully gifted Brandon Spikes in the middle. Ryan Stamper, a key member of this defense. Jenkins, Black, Will Hill, and Joe Hayden are the 4 in the secondary. Big hole, left side. First down, Tennessee. It's Hardesty, number 2. Tackled by Joe Hayden. He picked up 19.
You don't see much of this anymore against Florida's defense. They're in with their 3-3-5 package. Brandon Spikes is down here playing a defensive end, stand-up defensive end. They run the ball the opposite way, just a regular running isolation play and gash the defense. So many of these nickel defenses are designed for spreads and passing. Tennessee runs right at it.
19-yard gain. Gerald Jones is a wide receiver. The handoff goes to Hardesty, number 2. And he works his way out to the 48-yard line.
Well, Vern, let's talk about Jonathan Crompton and Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is calling the plays, and he's used to having some stud quarterbacks at USC. Now he comes in here with Jonathan Crompton, a struggling quarterback. So what do? You're on the road, look good one game, not as good, obviously, the second game. I think he needs to get him some easy throws to gain some confidence. He can't beat Florida without Crompton.
One of the 2 tight ends in motion left. They will keep it on the ground. It's Bryce Brown, the gifted freshman out of Wichita. Well, Gary mentioned the struggles last week against UCLA. He had a fumble and 3 interceptions on consecutive possessions.
Right. Now, not all of these were Crompton's fault. However, some of them that should have been interceptions were his fault that weren't caught. So I think it was about a balance. He's had some rough route running. Remember, this is a new system for Tennessee. There's a lot of reads out there for the wide receivers, and right now, the quarterback and the receivers are not on the same page.
Jones, number 4, is in the slot in motion. Here's Crompton on the rollout. Nice pass. That's Gerald Jones, and that they misconnected last week.
That was one of the interceptions. Now, that's what I'm talking about, of the easy completions for the quarterback. That was the sprint out option for it to the slot. Gerald Jones practiced. He says he's 100%. That ankle is still taped heavily. But, you know, you have to. You just can't play and avoid your quarterback. You can't call plays and avoid your quarterback. You have to get him a little confidence early in the game.
First down after the 19-yard gain. Second big play of this drive. Out of the eye, the handoff, right side. It's Bryce Brown, number 11. Had 104 yards in his first appearance for the Volunteers against Western Kentucky.
Let's talk about this Florida defense a little bit. All 22 players returning from a national championship team. All 22 players returning from a national championship team.
I was paying attention.
And what it is now they want to improve and get better. And what they've wanted is 3 and outs. Look what Tennessee has done. No 3 and out. A drive is a victory for Tennessee.
Got a brief glimpse of Charlie Strong, the defensive coordinator. Right side. Inside the 25 and close to the first down is Montario Hardesty. Talked with him on Tuesday. He said the biggest difference he thought with the Kiffin regime, did I understand this? The practices were harder?
Before?
At Tennessee.
Well, you know what?
No.
I always felt, I remember saying this to Vern when I watched Tennessee. The outside thought of Tennessee was Phil just rolled the balls out there and they had great athletes. That was not the case. He was very detailed, and sometimes I thought the Tennessee players played a little tight. You know, David Cutcliffe is a real taskmaster, and I think that they got a little tight, especially when they didn't have as good a talent at wide receiver. You know, I think what's really happened here is that Tennessee offensive line got called out. Forget the quarterback. You know, you run the ball 4 times like Kiffin did at the end of the game against UCLA and you can't get a touchdown. I think he served a message to this offensive line. Block someone, guys.
Now they started with a 1st and goal at the 7, wound up with a 3rd and 3 and a 4th and 2, and were stifled. And so it's 3rd and short here. Hardesty is the running back. Quentin Hancock, the wide receiver, to the left. And timeout called by the Volunteers.
Lane thought they might be in an illegal formation. He did not want to chance it, and he took a timeout.
Well, positive start for the Volunteers on offense. Time call. All right, Tim. Of course, Lane Kiffin spent 6 years on the staff at Southern Cal. The last 3 as offensive coordinator under Pete Carroll. And his team comes in 1-1. They've already had 2 third-down conversions in this drive and plays of 19 and 17 yards. So far, 48 yards in 8 plays. They trail by 3. It's 3rd and short.
I'd be surprised if they don't sneak a big quarterback.
They do. And they pick up a first down. So 3 third-down conversions in their opening drive of the game.
In the first 2 games, Florida has had the ball. It started a series 14 times. They got the ball and started drives 14 times. Lane Kiffin would like to get this game into a 12-possession game. Now just think, that's how fine these coaches are. From 14 to 12, he says, would be in our favor. Long drives really make that possible.
1st and 10. That's the fullback. And here's the handoff to Hardesty. Cuts it back. And he bangs inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line before A.J. Jones, number 16, makes the tackle.
Well, the story of this football game so far, I believe, is that offensive line for Tennessee that could not block that UCLA defensive line is blocking that rush up front 7 of Florida. That'll force a safety up in that box and a lot more man-to-man.
Only 1 pass in this drive for Jonathan Crompton. It's a draw play, right side, Hardesty again. Whoa! To the 11. And that should move the chain again.
You know, Hardesty started 6 games as a freshman, and then 3 games total the rest of the last 2 years. He's been almost a career backup. Boy, yes, he really turned on the effort for this football team. Goes right through spikes. That's the middle All-American linebacker for Florida, that Hardesty. And I'm telling you, everybody on that Tennessee bench is going to notice that.
1st down and 10. Volunteers' opening drive of the game. They'll come right. Trouble this time. It was Bryce Brown and Ahmad Black, I beg your pardon, number 35, was one of those in there early. Loss of 2.
I'll tell you, this is just a mistake by the rookie. This was a well-blocked, but not a great block. They're down there in goal time. Watch, he should have cut back. Right in here, he needs to run. Take that ball right up inside. He tried to get outside. No way. He could have got 2, 3, 4 yards inside instead of losing 2 yards. That's a 4-yard difference. That's tough down on the 10-yard line.
Brown is still on the field. 2 wide receivers, top of the screen to the left. Brown comes right, cut back in the middle to the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 8.
All right, now here's the call for Tennessee for Lane Kiffin. You want to keep the clock running. You want to get at least 3 points. And you don't, and maybe most importantly, you don't want to hurt Jonathan Crompton's confidence and the team. I suspect something will be very, very safe here and make sure they get the 3 points and keep the clock running.
3rd and 9 at the 10. Hancock and Jones wide left. It's Hardesty as the only setback. Florida with 4 down. They've not given up a touchdown so far this season. Hardesty in jail at the 10. It's going to be a flag down.
Boy, that's bad for Tennessee, as you know that Florida's going to take that penalty and move them back. See, now maybe if that's Matthew Stafford or, you know, a big-time Jevon Sneed, you don't take that penalty and you force a kick. But I don't think this Florida defensive staff or Urban Meyer believes Crompton's going to beat him.
74 on the offense. Penalty 10 yards from the previous spot. Down remains 3rd.
That's the right tackle, Jared Shaw, number 74. And so the ball moved back to the 20-yard line.
I run it again, or I throw a screen or a wide receiver screen. I want that clock running if I'm Tennessee.
3rd and 19. 3 down for the Gators. They bring 4. There's a toss. The pitch right, and Hardesty cuts back. Wow, how about that run? It will be 4th down, but he made the field goal a much more realistic possibility.
That is USC offense right there. Toss sweep on 3rd down. You've seen it for years from the Trojans. Tennessee had done it many times in the past also in their history, but boy, Hardesty's like a new man, isn't he?
He sure is.
Great drive for the Volunteers, and more importantly, look at this clock. 3:14. Look at him taking time off that clock.
Daniel Lincoln, the junior place kicker, is 2 of 2 this year. 31 and 28 yards, this from 24. And we are tied. It could not have been a more positive start on both sides of the ball for the Volunteers of Tennessee. 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Tennessee, Florida, 3-3. Back in Gainesville with a reminder, you still have time to create and run your own team of college football stars with College Fantasy Football. It's free and easy to get started. Just log on to cbssports.com/collegefantasy. .3-3 in the heat of a September afternoon. Montario Hardesty riding the bike on the sideline. 160 yards in the opener. And he really has begun to play a very prominent part in this Tennessee offense. How about that? 13 runs, 1 pass on the drive. Should be noted, however, that Florida still hasn't given up a touchdown.
Yeah, I think last week they had something like, 30 plays in the 4th quarter, had 3 points.
Yep. Yeah, and drives of 13 and 17 yards. That's right.
That's 30 at Purdue.
Brandon James spilled at the 28-yard line.
All right, Vern, let's look forward here a little bit again. Last time, Florida had a kickoff return to the 50-yard line, a face mask penalty to the 30, and converted a 4th down play for a 1st down, and then ended up with 3 points. That's a win for Tennessee. Now what I think will happen for Florida is we're going to see some of that option game. You know, Monty Kiffin's an NFL coordinator, has not faced a lot of option football. I think right now we're going to see Florida say, all right, Monty, what do you have in store for our option package?
Emmanuel Moody, who had 1 run last week and fumbled and then didn't see action the rest of the game, is in at running back now. They've got Demps, Rainey, and Moody as the 3 they feature. And here's Moody. Hit and dropped, but he got to the 50. With that sound of moo, they could introduce our Chick-fil-A offense.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, Moody gets the read handoff off the option. See the read right there? That's too easy for Tebow. And when Moody goes to the sideline right here, he should stop and say hi to his old offensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin, because Moody, the transfer from USC, had Lane Kiffin as his coach.
And here's the handoff to Rainey. Doesn't get much, maybe a yard. And for more on Emmanuel Moody, here's Tracy Wolfson.
Guys, I spoke to running backs coach Kenny Carter before the game. He said he spent a lot of time with Emmanuel Moody working on securing the football after the fumble last week. He says he knows what he needs to do, what he's doing wrong. Carter said, I have all the confidence in him. And he said he even gave him a little boost of confidence pre-game. I watched it. He said, come on, get out there. We need you to play well in this game.
Well, a positive start, Trace, for Moody on his first carry. A gain of 23. Second down and 10. And here's the handoff to Rainey up the middle. Now let's go back to the studio for a John Hancock update. Here's Tim Brendo.
Vern and Gary, those flies, they are buzzing. Utah with a 19-yard touchdown run by quarterback Terrence Kane on the zone read option to tie the game. Back to you, Vern.
All right, Tim, thank you. The hurry-up offense, the no-huddle offense that Florida worked on in the spring and early part, and then they slow it down once they get up there.
Right. Sometimes.
Yeah. Rainey?
That's the anti-cut-in offense.
That's right.
Because it always looks like they're going to snap the ball here.
Tebow was giving Brando a wind-up sign. Did you see that?
Now, here's what's happening. They're just running the straight dive play. But everybody on Tennessee knows off that dive play comes the option. So they're looking, and right now the Florida coaches are looking who covers who off the dive. Here it is.
Here's the option to pitch. James trying to get around the corner. And it's going to be third and long.
Vern, you made that note of Tennessee staff having all those years of experience in the NFL, but I think of all those years, 25 of them are with Monty Kiffin in the NFL. So, Monty, I asked Monty when I was there Wednesday, do you have any reads on this team like an NFL team? And he said, absolutely none. And I said, you're lying, aren't you? He says, no, they're hard to read. No pre-snap reads.
Interesting. Moody's back on the field, and he is one of three split wide to the top of the screen. And Tebow 5 yards back. On third down, here's Tebow. Has time, comes left side. He got the first down. David Nelson, number 3, 83. And a 12-yard gain on third down.
So much discussion about Tim Tebow is will he play at the next level? What will he play? I've been saying for 2 years he can only play one position. He's a quarterback. That's what he will be. He'll have to play that position. First of all, he's got his heart in it. Vern, that's what he wants to do. And I'm not betting against this guy's heart.
Well, that was quick. Rapidly played first 15 minutes. The end of the first with a score of 3-3. We'll return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. Tim Tebow so far is 3 of 4 in the ball game. He has thrown a touchdown pass in 30 consecutive games. That's the longest active streak in college football. First down 10 at the 26 as we begin quarter number 2, tied at 3. Tebow pulls it down, lobs it out. Demps has it. The speedster flies down the sideline and gives Florida rather, more positive news. But as we get underway, Gary, with this second quarter, it strikes me that the Volunteers have to be very, very pleased with what's gone on so far.
3-3, Tennessee winning. That's how they look at it right now. But, Florida has this way with their body punches, those dives, they start to wear you down, and things start to happen a little bit later in this game. Remember, against Troy, the first 5 possessions against Troy, Florida had 2 fumbles, 2 punts, and 1 touchdown. So they probe early in the game. It's still early.
Yeah.
But, on the other side of that, it's not like Tennessee's here in awe. They held this Florida offense last year to 243 yards. So, they're not saying we can't stop them again.
Second down and 6 at the 12. Riley Cooper and Hernandez, the tight end, break off to the left side.
Florida was practicing a lot of tight end screens to Hernandez in practice. Let's see if they throw something here.
Nobody open, so Tebow scrambles
wow.
That's how reputations are earned.
That was the 2 All-Americans right there. The Offensive Player of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year head-to-head. In the history of the Southeastern Conference, this has never happened. Returning Offensive Player of the Year, returning Defensive Player of the Year. Watch. Nobody shied away. Nobody shied away, did they?
Tebow and Berry. It's 3rd and 1 at the 7. 10th play of the drive. Tebow, I thought he was going to throw the jump pass, but instead he picks up a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Power run game, fullback in the game, fullback for Florida. He follows the fullback that time, Burgess, and pops it into the end, and pops it close to the end zone. Excuse me.
Tim Tebow inside the red zone. Look at that. That's gaudy. 79 touchdowns, 2 turnovers. He has scored 45 touchdowns on the ground in his career. Currently tied with Carnell Williams. The SEC leader is Herschel Walker. Might have heard of him. 49. And the second place man is Kevin Falk out of SMU with LSU with 46.
And Urban Meyer took a timeout for Florida that time. He knows how important this call is right here.
Under blue skies, a blue-clad crowd. It's time now. I shouldn't have started that. Let's take a look at our Jack Links action cam, Gary.
Well, Berry and Tebow. Object in motion remains in motion unless there's 3 objects to stop them, I guess, huh?
And then, during the timeout, we've kind of grown familiar with the passion of Tim Tebow.
Well, I think what he's saying is there's no way Tennessee is going to out-muscle us. That was a power drive Tennessee did to Florida. He's saying we have to match their power with this drive right here.
Out of the spread with 2 fullbacks on the field. Here's Tebow. Goes left. Flag is down. Tebow's in the end zone if the score counts, if the play stands. Flag thrown on the far side of the field.
Yeah, I think it was right tackle that time moved.
Penalty declined. Yep. No, it was against Tennessee.
Wow, it was movement, I thought, for sure by the right tackle before the snap. Must have been a Tennessee player lined up in the neutral zone, and Tebow gets another touchdown.
46 on the ground for Tim Tebow. But what we will most remember about the drive was the collision with Eric Berry.
2 All-Americans.
Caleb Sturgis for the extra point. Another glance at Tebow's 46th touchdown.
Fullbacks in the game, Moody's in the game, they crisscross and they run Tebow. Just different ways to run the same play.
It has become a beautiful day in Gainesville, and aerial coverage of the SEC on CBS is provided by DirecTV. "11 plays, 72 yards, 9 of them on the ground, and the 46th career rushing team." I'm just thinking, as we were going to commercial, the passion that Tim Tebow shows, and Gary, I think it's not feigned.
No,
it's real. It's who he is.
When we meet with him on Thursday or Friday, he has the same passion about our questions. You know, it's just, yeah, he's wired that way. Doesn't seem all that windy, does it? It's twice the ball falls.
David Oku is the deep man. Caleb Sturgis will kick off. Here's Oku, the freshman. 10-3. At the 2. Got some room, but a nice open field tackle. Will Hill got that one. And it'll be Tennessee for only the second time in the ball game. We've not had a punt. 2 field goal drives and a touchdown drive. First down and 10 at the 24. The last time the Vols had the ball on offense, they kept it for 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Newkeith Richardson is on the field, number 7. Here's Hardesty, and Hardesty is stopped by Ahmad Black, number 35.
Well, Charlie Strong has already made an adjustment in this football game. He's not going to let Tennessee run the ball. There's Ahmad Black. He's already in the box. That's their 8th man. And watch who comes up and makes the tackle. 8th man in the box right there makes the tackle. He's going to say, all right, we see you like to run the ball. You don't want to stay away from the quarterback. We're going to do something a little different here.
Second down, 9. Crompton to throw for only the second time in the ball game. Lobs it out. It's caught. And that's going to be close to a Tennessee first down as Bryce Brown out of the backfield takes the pass and gets near the 35-yard line.
Well, everybody knows who follows college football that Bryce Brown was maybe the #1 recruit in the nation this year, number 11 right there. I promise you, this guy's a star. I watch practice. He runs the ball with great body lean, and he practices as hard as anybody on that football team, and that's hard to learn when you're a freshman because it comes so easy in high school.
Only his 3rd catch in the first 2 games and 1 quarter. On first down, Crompton with a bootleg, rolls out right. He's got his fullback short. The catch is made, the tackle is broken, and it's first down, Tennessee.
Well, I tell you, this is exactly what Lane Kiffin wanted. Move the chains, move the clock, and easy throws for his quarterback. I mean, you can find a high school guy to throw this one. Fullback goes one way, counters back the other way. 6-yard pass, whatever, 12, 15-yard play. That's as good as it can be.
Kevin Cooper got the grab. And you can see they have both emphasized the running game. Here's the deep handoff. It goes to Hardesty. Modest gain. It'll be second down and 8 as Teron Sanders, number 92, makes the tackle. They'll rotate those defensive linemen. They have a plethora of linebackers and defensive backs. It is a very experienced and excellent Florida defensive team.
And they've gotten bigger and they've gotten stronger than last year, but right now they're a bit off balance with this boot and power running game right now from Tennessee.
Second and 8. Draw play. It'll be 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8 or 7. Joe Hayden made the stop, number 5.
There's a lot of different ways to blitz against the run and to get that 8th man up there. Short field, you take your corner from the short side of the field, Joe Hayden, and he becomes the 8th guy. Coming from the right side of your screen over here, Joe Hayden's going to come from the outside and make the play. That's the 8th man this time, a corner.
At the 48-yard line. Do you still keep it conservative?
I wouldn't want to make a mistake yet.
Cooper, the fullback, bottom of the screen. Crompton will throw. They come from the side to A.J. Jones, and that's going to be short.
Play.
Yes, indeed.
Great play by Joe Hayden here. This should have been a first down. In fact, a little bit more patience this time by Hardesty. I think the running back could have helped out this block and made the first down. He gets the ball. He's got his big tackle against a corner. You got to set up that block. That 300-pound guy, that's a tough block against a little guy. See, Crompton knows that should have been a first down.
First punt of the afternoon. It's Chad Cunningham, who had 25 punts last year during Britton Colquitt's 5-game suspension, but this is his first full season as the acknowledged #1 punter on this team, and this one limps into the end zone. Touchback. It will come out to the 20-yard line. 10-3, 8 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Full house in Gainesville. Back at the Swamp in Gainesville, Florida, on a 1-yard touchdown run by the quarterback. Tim Tebow leads 10-3. Here is the effort again. Tebow, with a little enthusiasm after the score, now trails Herschel Walker and is tied with Kevin Falk of LSU, all-time rushing touchdown leaders in the Southeast Conference. Tebow's numbers: throwing the ball 4 of 5 for 40 yards, and running only 5 yards on 6 carries, but a memorable collision with Eric Berry on that last drive. Bring it back. And we'll check that out in just a minute. Name, it's time now for Cue the Duck. I forgot.
Aflac.
Thank you very much. The Aflac trivia question: name the only 2 SEC quarterbacks to go undefeated against Tennessee in a 4-year span. It's not real easy.
I don't know.
No, you don't know?
I would guess Rex Grossman, but I'm not sure about that as one of them.
I'll let you later. I will let you know later.
Okay.
Kings X. Tebow is 3-0 currently. Wow.
Good defense.
Ron Rainey. That was Nick Revay's number 56.
Vern, one of the things that I think the Alabama game showed everybody on tape is you need a big nose tackle to play against the spread. It doesn't seem logical. They're spread out over the field. Why is a nose tackle important? Remember Cody and Alabama against Florida? You have to stop this offense from inside out. And if you're forced to put 2 guys inside to stop it, then you get outnumbered. Dan Williams is their best defensive lineman, and I think right now he's doing a good job inside.
Here's 2nd and 16. Tebow goes left. Ball is low and intercepted. How about that? Eric Berry. Tebow with only 4 interceptions all of last year's national championship year has been picked off by Eric Berry, whose first interception at Tennessee came against Tim Tebow.
Well, I'll tell you, this was a flat-out misread by Tim Tebow because there was a deep corner to the outside. Now, did that thing bounce? That's the question. Of course, it will all be replayed, and there's no way Tennessee will get up there fast enough to run the play. Now, remember, it's got to be...
It is under review.
It hits his left hand. Not the turf. Then it bounces to his right hand. And does he get his left arm under it? No. It's close. Now,
yes, it is.
It has to be irrefutable. Remember, it was called a catch. Let's see if we see the ball hit the ground at all. Looking. I don't see the ball. I see his elbow hit the ground. This is going to be in the eye of the beholder right here.
And the beholder in this case is Ben Olden.
Okay, Ben's going to say, you know, I think it hit the ground or not, because I can't tell. The way I'll tell you how I would do it if I was a replay guy. If it was close, I'd go with the call in the field.
I think that's those are the instructions.
You know, I mean, if it wasn't obvious, first of all, I wouldn't put my own job on the line.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Right. I mean, unless it's obvious, I'm eating the hot dog and saying, no, let the guy in the field have it.
Berry, the defensive player of the year. Tebow, the offensive player of the year. And Eric Berry with his 13th interception. It all began with a 96-yard interception against Tebow his freshman year. 1st and 10. Crompton from the corner, the blitz coming. He'll run. He's not that adept at carrying the football. 2 years ago, Eric Berry, then a freshman out of Georgia, against Tim Tebow.
Yeah, and it's the only interception Tebow has ever had returned for a touchdown, and at number 14. And, you know, we talked to a few of the Florida players, and isn't it funny how they said, and mostly Joe Hayden said, we love to watch number 14 play for Tennessee. He's a great one.
2nd down and 4. Hardesty cuts it up the middle. Drives inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal.
Remember early when I said that the freshman running back did not do a good job, Bryce Brown, of cutting it up inside. Now watch the experience of Hardesty. He doesn't push it outside. He plants that foot. Look at 2 Florida football players fall down trying to make the same cut that Hardesty makes. That's how you have to run the ball in major college football.
Hardesty 11 carries in the ball game for 65 yards. It's 1st and goal from the 5. The Volunteers make it to 4. Austin Johnson, one of the fullbacks, top of the screen, split way outside. They bunch to the left and toss it this way. The tackle is made on Hardesty by Janoris Jenkins, number 1 on number 2.
Well, now let's see what Lane Kiffin's going to do, because now this is the same situation he had against UCLA with the game on the line, and he ran the ball 4 straight times. Let's see if he dials something a little different. Now 2nd down is the NFL down to run the play action pass. If Oakland counts as the NFL, we'll see. We don't know for sure.
Bryce Brown is the running back, the true freshman. Here's Crompton. He'll throw. Bootleg. Goes right. Nobody open. Drills it. There was a man open, but it's incomplete.
Well, the receiver went out of bounds.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a bad play by your wide receiver. He would have been open and given his quarterback an easy throw for a touchdown. Gerald Jones on this play. He turns up. Watch. He's going to see the bootleg. He just kind of runs out of bounds. Now slow down. Slow down. He loses his position and steps out of bounds before the ball's coming. That should have been a touchdown.
Crompton under center on 3rd and goal. Hancock is the in-motion man. Here's Crompton rolling out, being chased under pressure, fires it. It's incomplete. That will bring up the field goal effort.
Well, that was great coverage by Florida that time. And that secondary comes out a very safe play again. Get your quarterback to the outside. Throw the ball to the outside where he can see what's happening. But nice coverage that time by Jenkins. Nowhere to throw it. Ball placement good by the quarterback, Crompton. Either his guy gets it or nobody gets it, and they get a field goal out of it.
Daniel Lincoln, 1 of 1 so far in the game. Will try the extra point from 20 yards out. And Tennessee gets 3 out of the interception.
That's a big stop by the Florida defense that time.
And a field goal, of course, instead of the extra point. Eric Berry with the interception sets up the 3 for Tennessee. Number 15 weighs 240 pounds. Number 14 weighs 203 pounds.
Well, it's not like the 2 stars haven't seen each other in this game, have they? I think that one was a tie. And obviously this one, remember, Tebow has a touchdown in the game. And this one is one for the other superstars. So I think I got it 1-1-1 in rounds.
Do you? Okay.
1 round, 1 tie, and 1 round for each guy.
First time ever we had the returning defensive player and offensive player of the year. We talked with Eric about their relationship. He said they really don't know each other that well. They did spend some time conversing at an award show in Orlando last December. Brandon James at the 8. Uh-oh. Be careful. Be very careful. Haul down from behind.
I'll tell you, this guy's going to make a lot of money in his career. Brandon James is as good a returner as I've seen in college football in many, many years. And he's durable. He's the great size for the next level. Great eye vision. And he'd be worth his weight in gold because he can do so many things in the special team.
Urban Meyer did not want to offer him a scholarship.
Yeah,
and
that's
the then defensive co-coordinator Greg Madison talked him into it.
Interesting storyline there.
Yep. And what a career he's had. First down and 10. Nine play, the pitch. Here's Demps. Watch out.
And the option. Eric Berry saves a touchdown.
Demps is averaging 14.7 yards per carry.
And you can see, I'll tell you, Eric Berry is on the opposite side of the field on this one to save the touchdown. He's lined up right side. He runs the play. Look at him coming across the field right now and makes the player. This is a touch. And you ain't not going to catch him. No way you're going to catch him. Now, Florida has not thrown deep in this football game. Sooner or later.
First down and 10. Here's James in the backfield. They give it to James, and he gets a couple. Now, we chatted with John Demps yesterday. Jeff Demps, I beg your pardon. And asked where he had most improved, and he said change of direction.
Yeah. You know, both of those guys look so much bigger than a year ago now. Now, it was their insertion into the offense against Arkansas when they became featured backs. When Tennessee held this Florida team to 243, they were still finding themselves. Rainey and Demps were not key players in this team yet.
Both rushed for in excess of 100 yards in that game. Second down. Tennessee with 4 down. Tebow, whoa, almost beheaded.
I got another sack, but they tried about 3 pocket passes, and there's 2 sacks in the game. I'm telling you, it's just what Ed Orgeron told me. We can sack this guy.
Chris Walker got that one, number 84, his 3rd sack of the season.
And for viewers who don't know a lot about Tennessee, when you read their stuff, the word you got on Chris Walker was in spring ball he was unblockable. And he looked like it right there, too.
Junior out of Memphis, 3rd and 14. 10-6 the score.
Comes that deep Tampa 2 defense of Monty Kiffin. Their safety's very deep. The middle linebacker will end up being very deep, too.
Timeout. Gators. Time called with 3:53 to go in the opening half. Florida is now out of timeouts. 3rd and 14 when we come back. Monday on CBS, see how it all began. The science, the shades, the team. The CSI Miami season premiere Monday, only on CBS. And we've got a moment here. Time now for the answer to the trivia question. Name the only 2 SEC quarterbacks to go undefeated against Tennessee in 4 years. You said Rex Grossman.
No, wrong.
Jay Barker of Alabama, Danny Werfel of Florida.
I had the right school.
Yes, you did. True. Tebow was not the starter. Chris Leak was his freshman year, but Tim.
And you'll see that middle linebacker right here.
Here they come.
There he is.
And there they go. Hernandez. Well, perfect play for that defense.
Tight end screens. They were running a lot of them in practice the other day. Just makes sense. Sometimes people say it's chess. Sometimes people say it's checkers. This time it was checkers. You get a sack. You think you can't block them. You send a middle linebacker. This time you bait them in 4 coming week. And here's the tight end coming from the strong side. That's a gift first down.
And the handoff on first down to the 25-yard line. That was a gain of 21. Hernandez, the tight end. And Tebow with the carry. Clock with 3:15 to go in the opening half. 2nd and 7. David Nelson, Riley Cooper, and Brandon James, all 3 to the left side. Hernandez, the tight end, off the line of scrimmage, tight right. There's the pitch.
Great play by Berry.
Guess who?
Spectacular play. And now I'm telling you, David Nelson will get an earfeel from his coach, not blocking as a wide receiver. But watch Berry here, right through David Nelson's block. And you know, Florida tipped this play off a little bit because both wide receivers were lined up on the line of scrimmage, and I think Berry knew his guy couldn't go out for a pass.
3rd and 5. With 2:23 to go, first half. Tebow has a man, James. That'll be close for the first down. That might be enough to move the chain. Tiz, gain of 6, 1st and 10.
Well, with the new bonsai offense, as they've dubbed it here in Florida, a lot of those calls are coming, obviously, from the sideline to Tebow. That time, Tennessee changed their defense on the run also, and Tebow still found the right guy.
Emmanuel Moody is now the running back, and the receivers load up on the right side. Nelson Cooper, now Brandon James. And Tebow comes near side, breaks the tackle. Down at the 11. Eric Berry missed him this time.
He ran right through the All-American that time, didn't he? Same stuff. Ride, keep. Well, he actually took a bad angle, but boy, that effort from Tebow that time. Plenty of time.
2nd down and 4. Again, the 5-wide offense. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Here's Tebow. Fires. Cooper. Incomplete. And an injury update. Here's Tracy.
Guys, Tennessee is without their starting linebacker, LaMarcus Thompson. Right now, he's dealing with a lower back injury. That adds another rookie into the mix for Tennessee. True freshman backup, Greg King, guys.
All right. Thank you, Tracy. Greg King wears number 48. Clock stopped on the incomplete pass. 1:04 to go.
16 backups on this team are either freshmen or sophomores for Tennessee as they rebuild.
Demps wide to the left, way outside. Looks like Tennessee going to bring 4. Tebow looks for help, pulls up, drills it in the end zone. And James was coming back to get it. It's incomplete, and man, was he pumped.
That's Jansen Jackson right there, another true freshman. Tracy told you about one. The other one out there is Jackson, the 5-star recruit from Louisiana. That Lane Kiffin, maybe with his brash talk, got to come to play at Tennessee. Watch him come across and get the hit right there for number 15 on number 25. That would have been caught had Jansen not dislodged that one.
Caleb Sturgis for his 2nd field goal try of the game, this from 29 yards, as Jonathan Phillips, the 5th-year senior, missed last week wide right and has relinquished the position at least for this game. So Sturgis knocks it home. He's 2 of 2 from in tight, and another look at the hit on Brandon James.
Well, Brandon James tough, but he better be after this one.
Florida with a 7-point lead, 2 field goals, a Tim Tebow 1-yard touchdown run. Final minute of the first half. Coming up at halftime, the Geico halftime report. We'll go back to our New York studios. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, and Tony Barnhart update you on this 3rd full weekend of college football. See by midnight tonight if this one equals the first 2, because I don't know that the year could have gotten off to a more exciting start. Jackson with a big hit that forced the incomplete pass. Here is the kickoff. Oku coming near side. Down at the 20. Last season's #1 new show is back. Emmy nominee Simon Baker stars in The Mentalist. Season premiere Thursday after CSI. Only on CBS.
See, I don't really like The Mentalist.
You don't?
No, because my wife wants to watch it and I don't get the TV.
That's so funny. I talked to Nancy last night at Steamboat Springs. What did you do Thursday night? Watch The Mentalist?
That's right. I don't get.
You and I are getting the promo awards for the year now. That is really funny.
Anything but a turnover here for Tennessee.
Tennessee does have 2 timeouts.
Run that clock out. Get out of here. Not going 80 yards, even with 2 timeouts.
All in all, give me an attitude check on Tennessee.
Well, I think Florida's getting a better game. Urban says he expected this type of game. I don't know if the Florida guys bought into it. I think they probably heard all the stuff. I think the Tennessee players knew that they could play with these guys defensively. I think they're thrilled with the way they've moved the ball offensively against Florida.
And we'll see if Crompton decides to take a knee with 10 seconds to go. Well, no knee, but a trot into the corner. And all in all, Crompton should be satisfied. Tebow with one touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown run, but he did throw his first interception of the year. Well, we sent Tracy Wolfson, affectionately known by all of us as the Wolf, in pursuit of Lane Kiffin, and he outran her.
Wow.
Yeah. Boy, this is not a good exchange. We're going from Tracy Wolfson to Tim Brando. America's the loser in that one. Let's go back to Tim.
You are something special, Vern. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Spencer, Tony, and I will have all of today's action, including Cal at its best, thanks to a record day by its star, while USC is locked in a Husky struggle. After this word from your local station.
Welcome back to the Swamp in Gainesville. 39th meeting between these two SEC rivals. Florida leading 13-6 as we get underway with the start of the third quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson. Tennessee deferred, so they get to receive the ball as we open the second half. It's David Oku, the freshman, and a reverse. Here comes around the right side, out to the 36-yard line. It's Dennis Rogan, who is the other of the two kick return specialists.
See, this, I think it's smart coaching. Instead of trying to get your big plays out of your beleaguered quarterback, try to find a big play somewhere else. Opening kickoff for your team, come back. You could work on it at halftime, remind everybody their assignments, and get good field position.
Trailing by 7, first down and 10. Rogan with the third highest kick return average in school history. First down, Crompton, conservative in the first half. 20 rushes by Tennessee in the first half. Crompton will throw on first down across the middle, almost intercepted.
Jeez.
Wow. Just a moment ago, Tracy Wolfson caught up with Lane Kiffin.
Coach, you had me beat at halftime. You're pretty fast.
Yeah, it's frustrating first half. We're outplaying them, out hitting them. We're not finishing our drives. 2 field goals in the red zone killed us.
But defensively, you have to like the way you've been able to slow Florida's offense down.
Yeah, we've done a good job on defense, but we let them have a third down screen and hit a big play on that. We expect them to hold them without scoring, not just whatever the score is now.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
All right, see ya.
Out to the left side for about a 5-yard gain as Tennessee opens with David Oku in the backfield. He was a part of the kickoff return. Well,
I just want to say, just what
yes.
the SEC needs, another intense football coach.
They do have a few around, do they not?
I think so. It's been a fun game, don't you
Yes,
think?
and much closer than I think most of us thought it
Well,
would be.
because Tennessee can run the ball. That's been the story of the game. I think that's the way you have to do it is if you can run the ball, you can control the game a little bit.
On 3rd and 5. Here's Crompton rolling right. Oh, he's got a man, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Joe Hayden. Crompton throws his 6th interception of the season. Joe Hayden gets his first interception of the year. And a flag is down all the way back at the 37-yard line.
Joe Hayden baited the quarterback on this throw.
Illegal shot block. 79 on the offense. That penalty decline. First down.
Watch Joe Hayden let the receiver go by him, eye the quarterback, and then catch up. Let's see if we can see this here. Joe's coming across the formation. He lets the receiver turn up, gets beat, but now he doesn't panic, finds the ball, and he was a great high school player as an offensive player, and now gets a pickoff as a defensive player. Vern, I gotta say, it was 3rd and 5. Of course, Tennessee could have picked up the first down, but it's not a killer interception for Tennessee. The ball went down there. It would have been a punt anyway had they not picked it up.
Time call. Let's do it. Joe Hayden's interception gives Florida interceptions in 15 consecutive games. That's the longest active streak in Division I, and a first down at the 35-yard line. Here's Tebow. Gives it off left side. It's Chris Rainey. And first half trends, Gary.
Well, Tebow did his job, but it wasn't an explosive offense. I mean, the other story of the game in the first half is, yes, Tennessee ran the ball, but Florida had no big plays. Now, Eric Berry's always going to bring Eric Berry's game to this football game. But, you know, I think, you know, I'm trying to explain that interception again just to make clear. You never want to throw an interception. But if there's ever time to do one, you don't want to throw one when you're in field goal range. You don't want to throw one backed up. And it was third down. It wasn't a disaster.
Here's Rainey for the first down at the 45, and we'll continue to show you the first half trends. Florida still has not yielded a touchdown in 2.5 games so far, and 40 rushes and 16 passes combined between the two.
Yeah, you know, pretty soon they just have to go deep. I know there's no Percy Harvin and no Lewis Murphy. You know, that was the big question mark for this Florida football team. They lost a lot of speed at wide receiver.
On first down, Tebow. He keeps it. He breaks the tackle, and he might have enough for another first down. It was Eric Berry who went after Tebow down low, and this time couldn't make the stop.
That's another read play by Tim Tebow. Whether he keeps it or not, keeps it, gashes it, another positive play.
1 yard short, it's second down and 1.
You know, this quick huddle, no huddle, bonsai offense has got a lot of publicity. I'd like to talk about it just a little bit here.
I sense that you, okay, I'll lay out. First down, Tebow looks for blocking help. First down at the 23. Jansen Jackson, that's a gain of 15.
Well, this is the same thing again. You know, they run the same play again, and their best football player keeps the ball. This again was called out of that bonsai offense. The defensive end came down. He reads it, big gashing hole, and Cole and Tebow keeps it. There's a lot of positives, and Florida tasted this quick offense against Oklahoma in the national championship game, and that's why Urban went to it.
First down and 10 after the 12-yard run. Here's the option right side. Whoops. Good job defensively. Wow.
Yep.
Nick Rivez with the tackle number 56. Let's go to Tim Brando for this Heisman Watch presented by Nissan.
All right, Vern, we're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Heisman Trophy, highlighting past winners from the SEC. Back in '66, Florida's Steve Spurrier claimed the trophy, threw for 16 touchdowns that year. That was a big number back then. 30 years later, he coached another Heisman winner, Danny Werfel, who went on to lead the Florida Gators to the '96 title. And, of course, the man on the field right now with you guys, Tim Tebow, claimed the Heisman in 2007 as a sophomore. Back to you guys.
Okay, Tim, thank you. Second down and 13. Blitz coming. Screen pass inside. Good job of expecting it by Nick Rivez. 56. And then, of course, in the new athletic offices here at the Swamp, Tebow, Werfel, and Spurrier, the only school in Division I with 3 quarterbacks to have won the Heisman. Third and 13. Demps hurries out to the left side.
This is where Monty Kiffin's getting paid the big bucks for. He's third and longs.
Tennessee brings 5. Tebow steps up. How about that? Hernandez with the inside little shovel pass.
But all in all, another stop by this Tennessee defense. That was key to this, stopping this drive, was the first down option play that was defensed beautifully by the Tennessee defense. So the turnover is going to give Florida a chance for a field goal. They're inching forward, but so far there's been no landslide forward.
Chaz Henry, the punter, is the holder, and Caleb Sturgis replacing Jonathan Phillips in this game. He's 2 for 2 so far. This is from 35 yards out. Nailed it. Sturgis is a perfect 3 for 3. And the Gator lead once again is 10 with 9 minutes. And 33 seconds to go, third quarter. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV, Allstate, Foster's, and by Wrangler. Yet another field goal for the Florida Gators, and they extend the lead. That one 47 yards in 8 plays. It took 4:19, and Sturgis now 3 for 3. He will also handle the kickoff chores again. 9:33 to go in the third. Tennessee trying to win for the first time in Urban Meyer's regime at Florida. And to back up the words of their new head coach Lane Kiffin, who said he would sing Rocky Top all night long after they came to Gainesville and beat the Gators. This one going, whoa, it's out of bounds. That'll come all the way out to the 40-yard line. Well, Sturgis, having kicked his third field goal, now has to go back to the bench and explain something. On your left, Jonathan Phillips, who has been the field goal kicker all of last year and until today. And it's Red Lobster's time to present today's Scholar Athlete. On your left, Jonathan Phillips. He's got an undergrad degree in finance, a master's degree in real estate, and also is currently enrolled in the University of Florida Law School.
Jeez, those are three things that haven't been going well lately.
There's a need for him.
That's right.
Oh, you're so right. First down at the 40. Hardesty, flag down.
So now we got an interception here from Crompton. And where do the big plays come? I tell you, every time Lane Kiffin is walking around, you know what he's thinking about? In his head, he's thinking about what do I do with Jonathan Crompton? On everything he thinks of, every call, he's thinking about Crompton. Every time he looks at his book, he's got that guy in his head.
And this penalty is against Tennessee. It's marked back to the 25-yard line. Penn Wagers. Tennessee blocking below the waist. And it's first and 25. Vladimir Richard, number 51, with the penalty. Keep it on the ground. Hardesty and Brandon Spikes, who's been kind of quiet today, number 51.
See, now here's the problem here right now. There's no big plays in this Tennessee receiving group. They just don't have any. So now, if you're Lane Kiffin, if Florida scores again, it's going to, the next score, it's either going to be landslide or a football game. So now what do? He's getting Annie to death. In poker, he's just, Annie. How does he win a pot? They just don't have those skilled players outside to grab those big chunks of yards.
Second and 24. Tennessee goes from the spread. They hand it off to the left side to Hardesty, and he runs into Lawrence Marsh. Marsh, big number 90, playing for the first time this season. He missed the first 2 games with an ankle injury. And now, what do you do?
He doesn't have this. He's going to have, he's going to have to play it safe. He just can't. He's going to have to hope his defense can get a stop. Because if Florida scores again, he's going to have to come out of his shell. 23-6, he can't keep doing this. So he knows the next score in this football game is the football game.
Third and 21. And he does keep it conservative. It'll be fourth down, and the Gators will get it back. Brandon Spikes, number 51. How big was it for this Florida team, for Brandon Spikes to opt not to test the waters of the NFL, but to come back for his final year?
Yeah, he's such a great leader for that defense. He can talk to anybody out there and motivate them and make sure that there's no slack. Here it is. This is where it all could bottle up. Number 25, he's had 2 touchdowns in the past couple of years against these Vols.
4 touchdowns returned off of punts in his career, 1 kickoff return.
Ooh, uncovered guy. No, pretty good defense by Florida.
That's Joe Hayden who goes out there. Here's the punt. It's a short one.
And a
Let's
good
see what kind of bounce we get. Yeah.
That's good enough.
You bet it is. Anything that does not touch the hands of Brandon James is a successful. Cunningham with the punt. Brandon Spikes. He met Tim Tebow when they were both on a recruiting visit to Alabama.
Start a new Saturday tradition with CBSSports.com's college fantasy football. Draft and play with real college stars at CBSSports.com/collegefantasy.
Back in Gainesville, aerial coverage of the SEC on CBS Sports, provided by DirecTV. First down and 10 as Florida held defensively, and now they've got the ball 69 yards away from the end zone. Tim Tebow, he has a streak of 30 consecutive games in which he's thrown a touchdown pass. Hasn't come close today. Moody alongside. There's the handoff to Moody. And they surge across the 35 out near the 38-yard line.
So I've got a request here.
Yeah?
So what is Urban thinking? He's thinking, where do I go? Which guy do I use here? Wow, let's see. Where can I get all these points from? I got guys all over here. Where do I go?
Second down. Oh, goodness. One of these days we'll enjoy doing this.
Yeah, right.
Tennessee brings forward Tebow.
Oh, look at that.
Can't quite get there. And who is it? Eric Berry.
You know, this is just, you got to give game plan. I said in the open that Tennessee worked all week of putting Eric Berry in spots where he can make plays. You know, I mean, you remember Lynch with Tampa Bay? You know, I mean, that's what he did. He puts his safeties in position to make plays. And he's got a Lynch right there making plays.
Eric Berry told us the other day he's not sure what position he plays now because he plays corner, he plays free safety, and linebacker. And in one practice, Monty Kiffin got on him about being out of position. Kiffin had forgotten where he lined him up that day. Here's Tebow. Chased. Oh, my gosh. He might have enough for the first down. He might. And if so, another memorable Tebow effort.
You guys can just watch this one.
Well, as Larry the Cable Guy would say, that's great. I don't care who you are.
I know, but Rico McCoy, a terrible angle to not make that play on that one. I mean, he's not facing a 4-3 back there. I mean, that's great effort by Tebow, but that's a first down given up when they had to stop.
Dive play again. Rainey. Tackle up high.
You know, Vern, I don't. You've done baseball before, haven't you?
Yeah,
announcer.
A few years ago.
You give up an error. You know, on the third out of an inning, you usually have to pay for it. And I'm afraid right now, Tennessee might just given up an error, a ground ball to second base error that they're going to pay for here.
Another first down after the 11-yard gain.
They should have been out of the inning.
Inside. And that one diagnosed immediately by Chris Walker, number 84.
You know, watching Tebow, I mean, it looks like Florida has Tebow and not much else in this game, doesn't
Yeah,
it? You know, it reminds me of that story about the guy asked the bank robber, why do you rob banks? And he goes, well, because that's where the money is.
Willie Sutton.
I mean, what else they got? That's where the money is, right? I mean,
Second down. 16-6. Under 4 to go, third quarter. Now Riley Cooper goes wide to the right.
very quiet Riley Cooper.
Absolutely. 5 catches in each of the first 2 games. 1 today. Left side, right side rather. This is Demps. Rico McCoy was there to make the tackle. But that's going to set up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, 3rd and 2, but it's also going to be set up a 4-down territory play here. Florida's not going to punt the ball unless they get sacked here.
Matt Patchen, number 71. Out there now, Mo Hurt, number 74. Backup lineman, but they go too deep in the offensive line like everywhere else.
Patchen played a little defensive line for Florida now. Has gained weight, put on 35 pounds since last year. Now he's a backup offensive tackle.
3rd and 4. Rainey split wide left. First down, Tebow. Caught by Riley Cooper, number 11. Their roommates had a big pass and catch in the SEC championship game against Alabama last year.
Well, I think Tennessee's thinking quarterback draw here. They're playing it safe. I think Tebow was going to throw that ball up the middle. In the last second, he changed his mind to go to Cooper. Nice change of direction by Tebow.
First down and 10. Sidearms it. Cooper again. And Cooper back-to-back plays. Riley Cooper, who signed a baseball contract, 25th round, with the Texas Rangers. He spent the summer playing minor league ball and almost gave up his final year of football, but he decided to come back.
It's just one of the wide receiver screens out there. Motion to it, different ways to get to it.
2nd and short. Timeout, Tennessee. I think Lane Kiffin can feel this thing kind of slipping away.
Right.
16-6, under 2 to go, 3rd quarter. And now let's take a look at our Jack Links action cam, Gary.
Well, our 2 main guys here again. Great stay-at-home position by Eric Berry. Look at him wrap up those arms. You're not going to block him down, but you know what? The quarterback always gets the ball again in this offense. And on the next play, he runs away from the Tennessee. Remember, this is 3rd and 4 or 5. They're out of it. A sack right there. Boy, I'll tell you that angle by Rico really cost the Volunteers. It may cost them this getting into be an ugly football game in the 4th quarter.
And it's a 2nd down, less than a yard for the first here with 1:57 to go, 3rd quarter. He'll keep it, and he ultimately goes left, and looks like he's got enough to move the ball down at the 20. McCoy, Gerald Williams, numbers 5 and 57.
This has kind of been death by 1,000 cuts out here today, hasn't it? I mean, it's just
nibbled to death by an Aflac duck.
It has really been.
First and 10.
Gotta kind of know they want to get Tebow a touchdown pass here. I'm telling you right now.
I think so too.
They know the streak's alive.
Yep. He's going to throw. He fires it to Cooper, who should have had it.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of figured they were going to throw the ball there.
That is the first incompletion in the last 7 passes.
Now, I'm telling you, Tebow has a strong arm. He may need to have it be a little quicker arm, but you cannot throw the ball any better than that. And a high ball is always easier to catch for a receiver than a low ball.
Modest numbers for Tebow today, only 94 yards, but a fine completion. He's 12 of 17.
See, this is an ineligible receiver right here. This formation has been giving Tennessee fits all game.
Tebow coming left. Little somersault. Eric Berry, of course, is in the neighborhood.
See, even though David Nelson is lining up wide in the slot, there's 4 other backs in the game, the quarterback and 3 backs. Tennessee hasn't quite adjusted to that. And by the way, David Nelson got a block this time. Last time, remember, we called him out without getting one.
Yep. And Eric Berry was in the neighborhood, but not a part of the play because of the block from David Nelson. 3rd and 3. Cooper, wide right. Nelson, near side. And Brandon James is in the slot. Tebow to the 6, 1st and goal. Eric Berry with the stop. Tebow with a first down.
Well, you can see the great game plan by Monty Kiffin, the great defensive coordinator for Tennessee. He has his extra guy in the right spot almost all the time. Problem is, the right spot against this offense with Tebow still means they're nicking him to death. I mean, I really thought if they could hold Florida to under 28 points, that would be a great defensive game. And they're there so far.
Yep. But a quarter to play. Final 15 seconds of number 3. Tebow directs Demps. Hands in the ball. Touchdown, Florida.
Now that inning-ending error down here, you almost could feel that was going to make them, it was going to cost.
Marcus Gilbert, the right tackle, with the big block to free Demps, a 7-yard touchdown scamper. Here's Caleb Sturgis for the extra point, which he hammers home. 13 plays, 69 yards, took just under 7, and a big miss on Tebow on 3rd down.
Here's Gilbert over here. Turns it out, but boy, that was a really nice call that time. That block was on the middle linebacker that time, Vez.
Take a look on the action cam.
Even in slow motion, he looks fast.
Jeff Demps with a touchdown run of 7 to give Florida a 17-point lead. Final 7 seconds, quarter number 3, as the Gators try to win their 13th in a row. Last time they lost was here against Ole Miss, 31-30 last year. Urban Meyer in this facility is 27-2.
Well, he's created a dynasty here. There's been some great decisions Urban Meyer has made to get to this point, though.
Here's the kick, short, taken by Oku, bobbles it, picks it up. Nailed by Cade Holliday. Number 22, Cade Holliday, a one-time walk-on, a senior. There are 2 walk-ons in the senior squad. He and Joey Sorrentina, they're now scholarship players, but they were walk-ons in Urban Meyer's first recruiting class.
Well, just that little stumble right there, and that allowed Holliday to just put a beat on him, and Oku could never get up to speed.
Tennessee down by 17. Final play, I would think, of the 3rd quarter.
Oh, no.
It was picked up by Bryce Brown at the center exchange.
I think Crompton threw the ball to the handoff. Remember Eric Ainge, the disaster with that left-handed handoff before? Watch him toss the ball here. No, almost tossed, and it was bobbled. That could have been a disaster.
As it is, it's not great.
Right.
That's the end of the 3rd with our score 23-6. We'll return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium right after this word from your local station. The 4th quarter just a moment ago. Tag end of the 3rd. Here is Jeff Demps, number 2, the sophomore, with a 7-yard touchdown run. He's now got 4 carries for 31 yards. On 2nd down, here's Crompton going deep, diving try. Not there. It was intended for Stocker, the tight end. Crompton incomplete. And Gary, it's seldom you can look at one play in the second half and say, bingo. But that missed tackle on Tebow might have done it.
I think so. At least it wouldn't have gotten out of hand. Listen, Tennessee's offense, though, Florida has adjusted. I think in the first half, Florida said, we don't want to give up the big play. Now they know there aren't any big plays out there. Let's move up and stop the run game. And now Tennessee has had a holding penalty, a bobbled snap, and an interception in 3 straight possessions. And it's 3rd and long right now.
Bryce Brown is the running back. Crompton rolling out to his right. And he has to throw it away. Nobody open.
You can feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
And that play was a killer. That play was a killer. Lane Kiffin knew it. You don't have to be an expert in football to know. And now, you know, anything can happen. A block punt here now, and it just gets out of hand.
Cunningham is back. The junior out of Dawsonville, Georgia. And Brandon James trying to get the crowd to respond vocally. He's at the 37-yard line. Line drive. Away from James, however, showing the wisdom of the junior. And he doesn't get his hands on it, so that's all to the good. A 36-yard punt. No return. Tebow and the Gators on offense when we come back.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
Well, Tim Tebow adept in the air or on the ground. 46 yards, 46th rushing TD earlier today. And Eric Berry for Tennessee picks off his 13th career interception. That set up a field goal. And then Jeff Demps, little stutter step, dive play, touchdown, 7 yards. That was at the end of the 3rd quarter and extends the lead to 23-6. And among other things, Florida still has not given up a touchdown in 2009. But it has been a struggle, especially the first half.
You know, you have what you have on offense. You can't make up stuff. They don't have big-time game-breaking talent in the wide receiver or at quarterback.
Flag. Yep.
That's flag already. You know, the other thing, Vern, I would say about Tennessee, I wouldn't be, if I was a Vol fan.
To the snap. False start, 81 on the offense, penalty 5 yards. There remains 1.
You never want to give away a year, and you can tell this staff won't. Lane Kiffin's going to get them to play good football, okay? But if I was a Vol fan, I would be more worried about who my quarterback's going to be next year than this year. You know, where's that next recruit? Where's the Jevon Sneed or Ryan Mallett sitting in the wings? Where's that 5-star recruit that's coming? Because, you know, next year they got to show improvement, and then now they do another stopgap quarterback.
Yep. David Nelson out on the left side. That's a gain of 14. Nelson, who a long time ago opted to turn down an offer from Notre Dame to attend Florida.
One of Urban's first big signees in his first year after he came from Utah. (23-6), 2nd and 1. Gators trying to extend their win streak to 13 in a row, and that includes, of course, the national championship game last year. Tebow pulls it back. Out to Brandon James, one-on-one on the edge. Gets around Eric Berry. So much discussion about Tim Tebow's mechanics. Right. Well, let's look. Dan Mullen, remember he had him on a computer? Well, here he is 2 years ago and this year. Look at the similarity. It's almost exactly the same. One of the hardest things to do to a quarterback is change his throwing motion. Once you learn how to throw a ball, that's the way you throw a ball. You can change the footwork prior to throwing the ball.
Okay.
You can change the guy how he looks downfield. But once he gets it and starts to throw it, it's almost exactly the same.
Right side. Rainey. Dennis Rogan and Chris Rainey wrestling for the football.
Rainey and Demps. Demps and Rainey, a little bit of Moody, but both these guys are home run hitters, and they're basically running a Georgia Tech running offense here with a Heisman Trophy quarterback thrower.
It's not a bad combo.
No, it's not. But I'll tell you, one thing is noticeable. They don't have that power at wide receiver that they did last year. Not even close.
Lewis Murphy and Percy Harvin both in the NFL now. Here's Rainey. First down at the 17. Interesting now, Gary. We talked to Urban Meyer yesterday. And he wasn't trying to downgrade the quality of his team, but he said, I don't know that we're the best team in the country. I know what our wide receivers are. That was his point.
Well, yeah. Well, it's going to be hard for Urban to hide away from the best team in the country.
Yeah.
He can try to pull Lou Holtz all he wants. He's the best team. He's got the label he's stuck with. I'm telling you that. They're going to try to get Tebow a touchdown pass. I just guarantee you they are.
But first he's going to run. Dennis Rogan lost his helmet. Tebow picks up a few more.
Rogan, who had that big hit on the UCLA quarterback that broke his jaw, kind of hard to break Tebow's jaw, I think,
Yeah, that was Kevin Prince out for a month now. Second down, 12:02 to go.
Got one-on-one coverage on the slot with Brandon James. Let's see if they dial.
Well, they'll use a timeout.
You got to save those timeouts to rub it in at the end of the game.
I do remember they did that against Georgia. There was some talk about that here. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero, Chick-fil-A, Prescription Flomax, and by the Home Depot. (23-6) with 11:54 to go. First time ever that the returning offensive and defensive players of the year in the SEC had met, and they have come through, have they not? There's the big hit. Here's Tebow's rushing touchdown. One of two touchdowns today. Eric Berry, 10 tackles so far, and this interception that set up a Tennessee field goal. So they have both delivered. Second down here in a 23-6 game. Barry, we asked him if he remembered that 96-yard interception return. He said, yeah, kind of. What I most remember is that I got beat on 3 deep plays. Here's Tebow. Has to scramble. He fumbled, is picked up. How about that? Dennis Rogan. And he gets it all the way back to the 35-yard line.
That's a huge play.
Yes.
But the guy just doesn't turn it over. And in this game, he's turned it over with an interception and now a fumble. Boy, he bobbled the ball and right to Rogan. I thought Rogan was going to score. Coming into this game, Tebow, I think, Vern, 6 fumbles in his career?
Yes.
6 fumbles in his career. He's only had 11 interceptions in his career. He's got an interception and a fumble in this football game. Look at this. 1,237 plays, just how often this guy turns the ball over. Amazing amount of times he gets hit, how little he turns it over.
That's 6 lost fumbles in his career. Here's Hardesty. He's nailed for a loss inside the 35-yard line. Well, that would have been the game central.
Yeah, that would have had the experts being right. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean.
And see, right now, Florida's defensive backs haven't backed up a step in the half hour. They're standing right there. And they don't believe that Tennessee's going to throw the ball down the field.
Nope. Bryce Brown is a running back. It's second down and 13, second and 12. Everybody up. That's Gerald Jones in motion. Compton flips it out left side. Will Hill, number 10, was there one-on-one, and Ryan Stamper, number 41. Let's revisit the fumble here.
Yeah, I don't know if he was bobbling it or it was stripped. It was stripped on the play. At that time, it was number 93, Montori Hughes, that got his hand in there and made the play. I thought actually Rogan had a chance to take that. And you could see he was so tired from the long drive, he just didn't have any gas to go all the way.
That's the second lost fumble this year for Tebow. He lost 2 last year, none as a sophomore, and 3 as a freshman. Corner blitz coming. Flip it out left side. It's caught. How about this? Bryce Brown, first down, Tennessee at the 42.
That's all they got. Now they got it across midfield. Lane is going to feel better about throwing the ball, maybe a curl or a crossing route. But right there, this was just a screen to the outside. 3rd and long, and Florida not in very good position this time on this play. This play should not have gone that far.
And
that's
here's
successful.
That's the first Tennessee first down of the half.
Yeah, that's how a game can get out of hand.
Quarter and a half. First down and 10. Reverse. No. Carlos Dunlap. Jay Howard, I beg your pardon, now flag. I bet they're going to get him for excessive celebration.
Oh, yeah, they are. Charlie Strong was out there almost in the middle of that huddle trying to get the Florida defensive line to stop doing it.
After play is over, dead ball, unsportsmanlike, number 6, 15-yard penalty.
It was Jay Howard. If you saw a number 6 in there, you might think he's a defensive back. Well, he's a big one right there in the line. Watch him come upfield, make the play, and then the signals. Second and short. This is a good play for Tennessee to try to get something down the field.
Second one. 2 wide receivers right side. They'll keep it on the ground, and there's a big opening for Bryce Brown, the freshman. And he's down to the 20-yard line with 9:10 to go. Gain of 13.
Great body lean from this guy. He is a big-time running back. Watch him. As he runs full speed with the ball, but he also leans. His head is in front of him all the time. Great body lean. He is going to be an exceptional running back in the SEC.
Gain of 13 and a first down under 9 to go. First and 10. It's Brown again. Bounces to the outside and a stiff arm on Ahmad Black. And Black does force him out of bounds. Stops the clock with 8:41 to go. Well, Tebow's second turnover of the ball game when he was stripped of the football by Montori Hughes. It was picked up by Dennis Rogan and returned almost out to midfield. Looked like Tebow and the Gators were going to go in and score, but a 41-yard fumble return set up this current Tennessee drive. Second down, 7. From the eye. Hardesty breaks a tackle, and another touchdown, Tennessee. The first touchdown given up by the Gator defense this year with 8:11 to go in the ball game.
Hardesty has shown when you commit yourself to being a good football player and grow up and learn what it takes to be a running back, you can be a great running back. And this is a tremendous run, running through 2 arm tackles and putting the first one, as Vern told you, into the end zone. And Florida should be scoring. Tennessee is scoring.
Lincoln cuts the margin to 10, 23-13. Hardesty broke the tackle of Ryan Stamper first, and then one more as he strolled into the end zone. Nice effort by Montario Hardesty.
And think about this. It all started with the fumble, and then from there, the turnover near the goal line. Great rip. Not one chancy play. The reverse and the penalty might have been the 2 big plays on the drive, and then Hardesty takes it right into the end zone. Great run.
Back in Gainesville, where Montario Hardesty has just scored for the Volunteers. Another look at it, Gary.
Watch the linebackers here. Here's a linebacker. Oh, excuse me, I touched the wrong thing. I don't do that very often, but I'm trying to get the linebackers to get taken by the two guards. Watch the guard play on the linebacker play. Richard and McClendon get up on the linebackers, block them both right there. Guard on linebackers, and that's allowing Hardesty to get to the next level. A well-blocked play by that Tennessee offensive line. Has done a pretty good job in this football game, considering Florida knows they're going to run the ball right at them.
Exactly. And it's an offensive line that did not play all that well last week in losing to UCLA, and they got banged up in the middle as well. But 63 yards. Montario Hardesty for the day now, 86 yards, and he caps that one with the touchdown run. Cunningham will kick off, and James is one of two men deep. And James heads back and will let it bounce. Touchback. Now let's go back to the studio for a John Hancock update. Here's Tim Brando.
Vernon, Gary, not even Sam Bradford, the Heisman winner, had 6 touchdowns thrown in a single game. Well, Landry Jones has 6 today. Here's another one to Ryan Broyles, 35 yards of the strike, 45-0 OU. A new school record in Soonerland. Back to you.
All right, Tim, thank you. It's 23-13 here. 5 minutes ago, it appeared that the Volunteers were going to be put away. Tebow then fumbled when he was stripped of the football. It was returned by Dennis Rogan, 41 yards, and that helped set up the drive. Now, here's Tebow and the Gators, first down and 10. Brandon James, not much, as he goes left.
Well, this is the first time I think Steve Adazio, the new offensive coordinator, has felt pressure as the play caller since he's taken over. And right now, Florida needs to move the ball and make a first down, couple first downs to ensure victory. They don't want to, now Kiffin will gamble throwing the ball this late in the game. So now he has to find the plays to march this ball for at least 2 or 3 first downs to ensure this game's over.
Clock running at 7:35 remaining. Tebow keeps it, gets a good block. Tries to cut to the outside, breaks a tackle, and is down at the 25. It will be third down. And a few moments from now, the Outback play of the game is presented by Outback Steakhouse. Well, here we go.
Yeah, this is a huge play.
Third down, you bet.
Dazio against Monty Kiffin. Florida's players against a good, solid Tennessee defense.
3rd and 5. Blitz. Nope, zone blitz. Tebow sacked. And Tennessee's going to get the ball back. It's Chris Walker.
Oh, he should get it. I wonder why he didn't get that celebration penalty. The Florida fans are saying, wait, we did the same exact thing. This is a bust here by left tackle. He should block one of these guys. They're not overmanned. They got 3 on 3. 2 guys go inside. The guard should have popped out. Somebody need to pick that guy up. Tebow was right. The offensive line should have picked it up. But why didn't Walker get a 15-yard penalty? That's what the Florida fans want to know.
Channeling is William Wallace. Here's the punt. And it takes a Florida roll. Nice. Wow. Chaz Henry. 56 yards. Chris Walker with the sack. And Tennessee's gotten the ball back, trailing by 10. When this one is put to bed, we're going to go back to New York for the TIAA Craft College Football Today scoreboard show with Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, and Tony Barnhart. Well, I have a lot to talk about this one, as we have. 6:01 to go. And now the Volunteers, who have played it very, very close to the vest all day, but successfully so, have climbed back within 10 in this one. Jeff Cottom, the tight end. Hardesty is the fullback. Toss to Hardesty going right. Dances up the sideline and is forced out of bounds across the 30-yard line. by Major Wright, number 21.
So can Kiffin march it down there again using these little screens and run plays and make it a one-possession game? That's what I think he wants to do. Somehow, some way, make it a one-possession game and see how that little pressure can be handled by Florida.
Hardesty continues his fine afternoon. Lawrence Marsh makes the tackle, number 90. Hardesty closing in on a 100-yard day. He opened the season with 160 against Western Kentucky.
Yeah. You know, usually the storyline has been against Florida. It's very, very tough to run the ball. Well, Tennessee in that third quarter, they couldn't do anything. And now again here in the fourth quarter, looks like they found ways to run the ball. Very good game by the offensive line.
Bryce Brown is the running back. Hardesty gets a rest. Here's Crompton with plenty of time out of the backfield to Brown. It's to the fullback, Cooper. Now USC playing Washington. Let's get an update. Here's Tim.
Well, we told you, Vern, it was smelling a little bit like Stanford, possibly like Oregon State a year ago. This is Eric Folk from 46 yards. There have been 2 fumbles, 1 pass interception. Aaron Corp is struggling. They're thinking about bringing in Mitch Mustaine. It's 13-10 Sarkisian against his mentor, Pete Carroll. Back to you.
Well, that would answer the question of whatever happened to Mitch Mustaine, who transferred from Arkansas after his freshman year. Second down. There's Jay Howard with the rush. The pass complete to the 37-yard line. Well, how about that? Steve Sarkisian, first year, going against Pete Carroll. And, of course, they both coached under Sarkisian and Kiffin. Both were colleagues when they coached under Carroll. 3rd and 6. Hello.
I'll tell you, Crompton has not, he had that 1 interception, but it was a play I can understand him going for. He has not forced the ball all day, really.
Bryce Brown, excuse me.
Maybe one other, but he got away with it.
Empty backfield. Brown is at the bottom of the screen. Cooper, the fullback, up at the top. 4-man rush. They stunt across the middle, and it's caught. It's going to be a first down. Tennessee at the 44-yard line. Gerald Jones with the catch. And Crompton now 11 of 17.
Beautifully designed play, Vern. I'm sorry. Watch Gerald Jones come out and pause and then go. See, that's a design play. He brought the defender to him, and then he crossed his face. Very nice. Kind of stop and go.
High formation with 3:15 to go. That's Jones, number 4. Nice tackle. Wow. Now let's take a look at our Home Depot tools to victory.
Well, I'll tell you, this running back shows you a lot. That to work and put the effort into his senior year and show that he's been running with abandon. His offensive line has given him the blocks. It's been the game plan, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Obviously.
Yep.
A dink, a dunk, and a run.
Here's Crompton back. Again with time. Quentin Hancock was with, there's a fumble. And it's going to go out of bounds in Tennessee's possession.
Well, Quentin Hancock, who, by the way, was a high school teammate of Brandon James, gets a bing, bang, bong. 3 guys. Doe gets the last one. The bing, the bang, and the bong.
Sounds like a late night experience on some college campus.
No.
I'm sorry. My mind wanders. 3rd and 6. Blitz. Missed him. Steps up and goes way to the left. Now, how can they not throw a flag there?
Well, if he was out of the tackle box, that would be the only way.
I don't think he was.
He crossed the line of scrimmage. They're talking. They're discussing.
Yep.
See, Jonathan kind of panicked right there. It's 3rd down. He could have even scrambled for 5 or 6 yards.
There is no flag.
Did he get outside of the tackle box? The ball was on the hash. No, he didn't.
I don't understand.
Well, they're going for it on 4th down right here.
4th and 6. 2 minutes to go.
Timeout by Kiffin. He doesn't like it. That was a quarterback, Vern, in the last play that is a bit shell-shocked from getting blamed so much for so many mistakes. A guy who had confidence right there would have at least tried to run the ball and pick up 2 or 3 yards.
This was the reaction on the overthrow. Whoa! What do you mean he didn't throw it away? 2 minutes to go, 23-13. After the incomplete heave by Crompton that almost wound up in the stands. And no call. It's 4th down and 6. With Florida trying to win its 13th in a row and trying to take a lead in this series, holding on to a 10-point lead.
You have to throw the ball. It's 4th down.
Crompton has Denarius Moore. Wide to the right, is going deep down the sidelines. Double coverage. Intercepted by Ahmad Black. He had 7 last season.
Wow.
They did throw it for Denarius Moore.
Yeah, and you know what? Tennessee went for it all. Lane Kiffin ran a hitch and go. Remember, it's 3rd and medium. I tell you, this doesn't hurt him at all. This doesn't hurt him. He goes hitch and go. Watch to the top right here. He's going to come down, hitch and go. It's a great call because Florida's going to sit on the short throw. Hitch and go. Great job by the corner, Jenkins. You got to throw the ball and take the gamble. I like the call by Lane Kiffin. I really do. And a great job by Black and Jenkins to play their defense. That's great defense and a great call.
1:51 remaining. Here's Tebow. And I would certainly imagine they're going to work on the clock now.
Yeah, Vern, he's not going to get to sing Rocky Top.
Right.
But, he might kind of belt out a verse of respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. What do you think? I mean, they came up, played football today.
Yes, I agree.
Okay?
I sure do.
I think he earned a little respect for his program today.
And you know what else? I mean, there was so much controversy about his brash statements. To his credit, he stood up and answered every question about it all week long.
Well, he had to, but that was a brash call, too. I think he managed a perfect game, but I'll tell you, hand it to the Florida's defenders right there, staying with their fundamentals, and that could have been a big play. A normal guy on 4th and 6 bites on that play. Everything about that play was good football. Now, it doesn't make any difference if that ball's intercepted. That makes no difference. Inconsequential. We're going to get a timeout, aren't we?
And Jonathan Crompton has played more than adequately today. He's played quite well.
He was managed well, and he hasn't been the reason this game is lost.
Well, on December 1st, Lane Kiffin announced as the head coach. And, of course, here's one of the statements that caught the attention here. I look forward to the ball walk, running through the tee, singing Rocky Top all night long. And this was on signing day. I love the fact that Urban had to cheat and still didn't get him. That earned him a rebuke from Mike Slive, the commissioner of the SEC, because he was incorrect. There was no cheating. And other such statements. 4th down play.
Pass, you got to throw it. You don't care if he's covered or not. You got to put it up. You might get a pass interference. Tennessee took the timeout there. I think that shows good competition there also.
3rd down, Tebow takes the pass. And that might pick up the 1st down. One streak that will come to an end today is Tim Tebow having thrown a touchdown pass in 30 consecutive games.
Yeah. It's not going to be as easy for Florida this year. Their defensive backs do not, their wide receivers do not put fear into the secondary of these defenses.
As Harvin and Murphy did. Tebow with 24 carries today, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. 33 seconds to go. He'll take a knee. The Florida Gators will win a school record 13th consecutive games. And for the first time, they take the lead in the series. Lane Kiffin, Urban Meyer. Urban said, I really like his dad.
And I give him credit. And you know what? Urban's going and congratulating the players, too. He knows they put a lot of effort in this football game. That was pretty classy by Urban Meyer right there. I thought that was real classy by Urban.
Yep. The #1 team in the country struggles today. They go to 3-0. Let's go down to Tracy. She's with Lane Kiffin.
Thanks, Coach. You were not able to sing Rocky Top today, but you have to be happy with your way your young team came into the swamp and played.
Well, we're not happy because we lost, but I think that our guys played hard, played physical, and I think we showed the blueprint of how to come down here and win if we'd make some more plays at the end.
After all the controversy, are you happy that this game is just over and done with?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
After all the controversy, are you just happy that this game is over and done with?
No, I wish we would have played a little better and won today, but we go on to the next game. We got a good opponent going back home.
All right, good luck. Thanks.
We'll see them next year.
Weren't pretty, but it was a win for the Florida Gators. Now time for the play of the game presented by Outback Steakhouse. And it was a 3rd and 4. A little bit of a scramble by Tim Tebow.
And it was a time of the game when we were talking that the next score was going to make it a game.
And here's the call from Mick Huber.
Tebow rose to the right, comes back around, reverses his field, comes to the left, still looks. He's going to be hit. He breaks the tackle, comes ahead to the 41, 42-yard line and out of bounds, close to the first down.
And Tim Tebow did get the first down. Then Jeff Demp scored on a 7-yard run. And let's go down to Tracy. She's with Urban Meyer.
Coach, it wasn't pretty, but you did get the win.
No, it was real pretty. When you have an SEC win against SEC personnel, that's beautiful. That's a great win for Florida. Especially coming after the comments that Kiffin made earlier in the season? I think what's lost in comments made by coaches, there's great players on both sides of the field. That's a very talented defense. That's a great win. And I don't want to lose sight of that. I'm going to make sure our players enjoy this win. What did you learn about your team today? Well, they fought. We're a very well-conditioned team. We won the second half now, and we just got a long way to go now. I mean, it's when I start hearing people make all these comments about how good, we got to worry about winning each game, down to down, quarter to quarter. Finally, how about watching Eric Berry and Tim Tebow head-to-head? No, those are two warriors, man. Those guys have been playing football for a long time. Thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations.
And traditionally, of course, Urban Meyer leads the team over to face the band and sing the alma mater. He was last year's defensive player of the game. He's our player of the game in this SEC opener for the Gators and the Volunteers. Eric Berry with 11 tackles, 2 for loss, 1 interception, proving again his value as just a wonderful, wonderful defensive player.
Well, I agree about 80% of what Urban there right there. You know, I think he's going to look at this also and now kind of retool like he did early last year and say, where do we find some big plays? Because he knows you're going to need big plays in this conference to run the table.
In the long history of the Florida Gator football teams, never before have they won 13 in succession. It's a new school record. 23-13. They go to 3-0 for the year. In defense of their national championship, they're trying to win back-to-back national titles. Tim Brando and the group from the New York studios right after this.